The endgame gear, OP1 8K, Logitech G Pro X, Superlight 2, Razer Death Adder V4 Pro, BenQ Zoe, FK2 DW, and Lamzu Maya X are the most popular lightweight gaming mouse of 2025. 2025? But which is the absolute best? We are going to compare them to each other and score them in various categories, with some categories holding more weight than others. In the end, we'll decide which is the best one based on the final score, and we will declare the absolute winner. Let's dive in. First, we're going to compare them on the accuracy and sensor quality category, which has a multiplier of 2. The endgame gear OP1 8K delivers exceptional raw performance with its Pixar 3395 sensor and an 8000 Hz polling rate, providing incredibly low and consistent click latency for a remarkably responsive experience. Though its wired connection might be a drawback for those seeking a wireless setup, so I'm giving it a 9.2 out of 10. Next up, the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2 offers a remarkably responsive feeling for gaming with its exceptionally low and extremely consistent click latency, and its sensor provides superb latency performance, reacting extremely quickly to your movements, which is why I'm rating it 8.8 out of 10. The Razer Death Adder V4 Pro tracks your movements exceptionally well with virtually no speed variation, and its sensor latency performance is so good that you won't notice any delay, making it extremely well suited for competitive gaming at any level, earning it a solid 9.0 out of 10. I found the BenQ Zoe FK2 DW to have some occasional issues with registering clicks and movement, which caused the game to freeze briefly. And while it supports a 4000 Hz polling rate, the performance inconsistencies I experienced lead me to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Finally, the Lamzu Maya X provides a highly responsive feeling experience for gaming, thanks to its superb click latency performance and its sensor that reliably tracks movements with minimal variation, delivering a stellar performance without any anomalies, even at an 8000 Hz polling rate, which is why it gets a 9.5 out of 10. With its flawless wireless implementation and a top-tier sensor that delivers an incredibly responsive and accurate experience, the Lamzu Maya X stands out with a score of 9.5 out of 10. Next, we are going to compare them on the ergonomics and comfort category, which has a multiplier of 1.5. The endgame gear OP1 8K offers a comfortable and compact symmetrical shape that feels fantastic for my claw and fingertip grip. But because of its smaller form factor, it is definitely not a great fit if you have larger hands or prefer a full palm grip, earning a 7.5 out of 10. When I picked up the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2, it immediately felt familiar, with its famously safe and minimal ambidextrous shape that suits almost any hand or grip style. However, it lacks the specialized form-fitting comfort of a dedicated ergonomic mouse, which makes it feel a bit generic in comparison. So I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. I found the Razer Death Adder V4 Pro to be outstandingly comfortable with its classic right-handed shape that cradles my palm perfectly for hours of gaming. Although it is absolutely a mouse designed for larger hands and would feel awkward for anyone with smaller hands or who prefers a claw grip. So it gets a 9.2 out of 10. Using the BenQ Zoe FK2 DW was a great experience thanks to its thoughtful symmetrical design that features a small ledge to rest my ring finger and angled sides that helped me lift it easily, but I did find the scroll wheel was positioned a little too far back for my hand size, which made quick jumps in-game a bit of a challenge, landing at a 9.0 out of 10. Finally, the Lamzu Maya X felt like a unique symmetrically shaped mouse, with a sleek design that was surprisingly accommodating for my larger hands, though I have to mention the black coating on my unit was a magnet for oils and smudges during intense sessions, which is why it scores an 8.0 out of 10. For pure ergonomic bliss during long gaming marathons, the Razer Death Adder V4 Pro takes the win here with 9.2 points because its shape is simply unmatched for right-handed palm grip users who value support above all else. Next, we are going to compare them on the weight and build quality category, which has a multiplier of 2. The endgame gear OP1 8K feels almost impossibly solid for something that weighs just 55 grams, with an exceptionally grippy coating and absolutely zero creaks or weak spots that I could find, though you are tethered by a wire which helps it shed those few extra grams. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. Coming from the OP1, the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2 also feels extremely lightweight in the hand and has what I'd call impressive build quality. But I did notice a tiny bit of side panel flex and some minor play in the scroll wheel that you just don't get on the more solid frames of its rivals. For that, it gets an 8.5 out of 10. The Razer Death Adder V4 Pro is a bit of a surprise because at 56 grams, it's heavier than the Superlight 2. But for a big ergonomic mouse, it feels incredibly light and balanced with a completely rigid shell that doesn't creak or flex at all, no matter how hard I grip it. It earns a solid 9.0 out of 10. Then we have the BenQ Zoe FK2 DW, and this thing is built like an absolute tank with flawless construction that feels like it will last forever. But at 65 grams, it is noticeably the heaviest mouse in this lineup, which holds it back in a competition focused on being lightweight. This one is a 7.0 out of 10. Finally, the Lamzu Maya X brings build quality that I feel truly rivals the top dogs from Logitech and Razer, providing a dense and sturdy feel with no smudges, though this robust internal structure does make it a few grams heavier than the lightest options here. I'm giving it an 8.0 out of 10. The endgame gear OP1 8K takes the win in this category with 9.5 points, purely because it combines a ridiculously low weight with an absolutely perfect and durable build quality. Next, we're going to compare them on the customization and features category, which has a multiplier of 1.5. The endgame gear OP1 8K is a tinkerer's dream, offering not only reprogrammable buttons and a polling rate up to 8,000 Hz, but also unique hot swappable main button switches that let me physically change the click feel, which is a level of personalization others here just don't offer, earning it a solid 8.2 out of 10. With the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2, I found the G Hub software allows for a decent level of control, letting me adjust the X and Y axes independently and save up to 5 profiles to the mouse. But the baffling decision to remove the dedicated DPI switch makes on-the-fly adjustments a real pain compared to the others, so it gets a 7.0 out of 10. The Razer Death Adder V4 Pro gives me an insane level of control through its software, allowing me to reassign every single button, create a secondary layer of commands with hypershift, fine-tune sensor settings like lift-off distance with incredible precision, offering a depth of software customization that feels a step above the competition. And for that, it scores a 9.5 out of 10, about. In what feels like a throwback, the BenQ Zowie FK2DW forces me to adjust everything, including DPI, polling rate, and click response time, using button combinations directly on the mouse itself. And while I appreciate the simplicity of a plug-and-play, software-free experience, the lack of fine-grained control and custom DPI steps feels limiting, giving it a 6.5 out of 10. Finally, the Lamzu Maya X impresses with its quick and simple web-based software, which means I don't need to download any files but can still configure its 6 programmable buttons, adjust debounce time, set up to 3 profiles, and enable an 8,000 Hz wireless polling rate, making it incredibly versatile without the bloat, which is why it gets a 9.0 out of 10. For its incredibly deep software suite that includes the powerful hypershift function, for secondary inputs, the Razer Death Adder V4 Pro takes the win here with 9.5 points, for Pro. Finally, we're going to compare them on the value for money category, which has a multiplier of 3. The endgame gear OP1 8K delivers incredible performance with its 8,000 Hz polling rate and lightweight 50.5 gram design for a very reasonable price. Though being a wired mouse, and sometimes requiring a separate purchase for the best skates, holds it back from true perfection, earning it a solid 8.8 out of 10. Up next, the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2 feels fantastic in the hand and offers flawless wireless performance with its new Hero 2 sensor, but its high price and lack of a dedicated DPI switch make it a tough sell when it feels so similar to its predecessor, giving it a 7.2 out of 10. The Razer Death Adder V4 Pro is packed with bleeding-edge tech like an insane 45,000 DPI sensor and an 8,000 Hz polling rate, but honestly, these are features most of us will never fully use. And at an even higher price than the Superlight 2, its value proposition feels questionable, landing at a 6.8 out of 10. Next, the BenQ Zowie FK2DW is the wireless mouse many of us have waited for, nailing the classic, safe shape that feels amazing for aiming, however. Its subpar battery life and use of older mechanical switches instead of opticals is a letdown for a premium-priced mouse, so it gets a 7.9 out of 10. Finally, the Lamzu Maya X feels like it came from the future, combining a ridiculously light 47-gram weight with a flawless sensor, great optical switches, and fantastic build quality, all without the massive price tag of the mainstream competition, making it an easy 9.5 out of 10. With a score of 9.5, the Lamzu Maya X takes the win by delivering a true flagship experience and top-tier technology at a price that doesn't feel like a compromise. The results of our comparison show each product shines in its own way, but the Lamzu Maya X stands out with its score of 89.0. After countless hours of testing its flawless sensor, exceptional click latency, and unmatched value for money, I wholeheartedly recommend the Lamzu Maya X. Its ultra-lightweight design doesn't compromise on build quality, making it an extraordinary contender for any gamer seeking top-tier performance without breaking the bank. As for the others, each deserves recognition for their strengths. The endgame gear OP1 8K with an admirable 87.35 offers excellence in build quality and customization, perfect for those who don't mind a wired connection. The Razer Death Adder V4 Pro follows closely, capitalizing on ergonomics and robust software customization with a score of 84.45, while the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2 and BenQ Zowie FK2DW may have lagged behind slightly. They still deliver commendable experiences, especially for fans of safe, ambidextrous shapes or plug-and-play functionality.